So when I looked to expand to the US, the first thing I did was to go and just do research and just speak to other UK founders who'd gone to the US and been successful, or who had failed. And there were a couple of I guess big key lessons from that. One was there was just a repeated pattern that people who'd just gone and hired a senior person in the US, like your big brand name B2B SaaS company, sales CRO or type hire, or senior salesperson hire, they had almost always failed. And the big advice that came out of that was to take some of your own team, and take them over first of all, supplant the culture and your playbooks, and then build out from that base. And that had worked for company like some of the founders I'd met. So I selected that formula, and we picked one of our staff that was a US citizen and had been there since the founding of the company and had worked in several functions of the business, and then took him out there with two of the senior sales people and started in New York.
Why do you think that is, that pattern of, just hire senior from day one, not transplanting any of your own people? Like what tends to go wrong when founders take that route?
I think one of the things is that at a very large corporation, you haven't, you may be tinkering with the system that's built there and the playbooks and the methodology. You probably haven't built it up from scratch. When you're starting in a new region, it's really like starting a new startup. You have to iterate on messaging,
Mhm.
you have to iterate on positioning. You need to get really scrappy again. So I don't again like I think zooming out and just designing the system and not being hands on, uh, it just doesn't work in that way. And you can't go and just take your playbook from your old corporation and where you've been before and just apply that. You also all of the systems aren't there, all of the support isn't there in terms of marketing. You have to like build all of that out. So there's having that time to just build out all the materials and all of the processes you need. And typically when you're bringing in somebody very senior as well, I think there's a high expectation on the revenue that they
Mhm.
make and a high expectation on the revenue you expect them to make. Whereas actually that building phase is a it in itself is probably a good 18 months period to build out just the base to start to build the revenue from. So having a really I think realistic expectation on just building the foundation to build the sales team on. I think that's a really critical piece of that. And when you go and bring over, assets from your home base and take them over, then they bring a lot of that with them. The playbooks, the materials, just knowing the people inside the organization to speak to get things done. And I think like it's just it's a basic skill that's needed for the new location to be able to tap into the knowledge network at the home base.
James, I'm real curious. Obviously, we've seen a lot that hire that way too senior, the old Rolodex big company type of hire that always fails. Did anyone talk to you about the other end of the spectrum, where the bottom up? Where have you seen anyone or talked to anyone that like tries to hire that junior hire first without transplanting somebody over?
I mean that goes that well, from what I've seen, that goes wrong faster. It's less expensive, so there's the benefit there. But I mean, I think again, like you just got to do it properly. You've got to take, uh, some of your staff, the good ones, to like the really good ones, move them over to the new location and build from that base. I haven't seen it work, and I've looked at lots of examples either way, like the super junior hire, like let's just build out an SDR team in the same way that we built it out in the home base, and just give that a try. You need, and also the founder needs to be going over, like the founders need to be going over all the senior leadership needs to be going over regularly to make sure that everything's working, and that the new team has all the support they need.
Can you define what regularly means? Because I think some people think that's like once a quarter.
I didn't have the time to go as much as I wanted to go. Of course, the more you can go, I mean, if you can be there monthly, if you can go, if the founder can actually move to the location, even better. I mean, that goes even from the examples I've seen, that works out even more. So the best thing to do is to get the founder to move to the location. But we sent a very early employee, probably employee number 3, and they did a great job.
Yeah, I think from what I remember, you guys were on like a rotation. Like one of you was out there
Yes,
one
yeah,
week,
that
and
was
then
how we did
was
it.
like
Yeah.
3 weeks out of the month, somebody was out there from the leadership team.
And we started in New York, so it wasn't like that was painful. That was quite a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk about that for a minute because we see that all the time with geography. Founders are like adamant, like we want this one place and that's it. New York, San Francisco, most of the time.